Hey guys. As to my 2 videos ago when I did my broken leg makeup tutorial, I had a few questions asking, okay, what happened? So I'm here to tell you what happened. All right, so I was playing softball with my little cousin and my son, and I gotta be honest, yeah, I had a few drinks. Wasn't wasted, just a couple of beers. It was a nice day out, and whatever, having a good time, playing some sports, doing some softball. Thought it was a good idea to play in flip-flops on moist grass. I hate that word. Damp grass, 'cause it was like raining the day before. So we're playing ball. They didn't want me in the team at first. They didn't want me in. So I went and I got colored hairspray. Like I got a red one and a blue one. And because I got those, then the kids let me play because I was like, we'll have two people on each team. You could have two for red team, two for blue team. So I spray our hair and now I'm in the game. So I get to play. So I'm in the game and everybody's batting. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm tired of being a catcher. Like I want to bat." So I get up to bat and I bat the ball and it was like the weakest hit ever, but it was enough for me to run. So I went running for first base and I slid in because like they almost had the ball, like they were throwing and I was like, "Oh, they can't get me out. Like I got to get this." So I slid in and my foot, like the flip-flop turned and it like bent my foot like this. So immediately I'm in like so much pain. I'm like, I made it. I mean, I made it to base. I was safe. It was good. But I was immediately in like a bunch of pain and I was like, oh boy, like I'm stuck out here in the grass now. Like I need help getting back up to the house. So I got carried back into the house and I was like, it's fine, I'm just gonna go lay down, relax, whatever. Came into the room, went to sleep. I was like, no big deal. I've sprained my ankle before. It's probably nothing. It just probably hurt a little bit more because it was so quick. Fine. So I go to sleep. I wake up at like 5:15 in the morning with throbbing pains on my foot. And I look at it and it's like twice the size that it's supposed to be. And I'm like, oh man, this isn't working for me. Like, I need to go to the doctor. So I try to stand up. Horrible idea. And I immediately fall to the ground, like next to my bed. So I'm like, oh man. And I'm crying. Like, now I'm crying because, like, I don't even know why I tried to stand up. That was just dumb of me. So I'm crying and I'm like, oh my God, like this hurts so bad. And I'm trying not to be too loud because everybody's sleeping and I don't want to be rude. And I'm like, oh, Miss Strong, independent woman, like it's fine. I'm gonna get myself to the hospital. It's okay. And it's my left foot and like I drive with my right foot, so I was able to drive. But we had crutches out in the closet in the hallway, which were in the house actually when we got the house. So they're not my crutches. They were made for like a man or a woman who is like 7 feet tall. Like they are humongous. You cannot make them any shorter than I had already made them. So I'm using these like humongous crutches and I'm like, all right, like after crawling like army status to the closet to get them and then like crutching myself out to the car, but even with every crutch hitting like the floor, just the vibration like going through my body was unbearable. So I drive myself to the hospital in tears. Every single light was green. Thank the heavens. I make it to the hospital and like while I'm pulling in, I'm like, oh, let me call the emergency room. Maybe somebody could come out and like get me because this is just like it's too much. It hurts so bad. So I call and they're like, oh, we're transferring you to the ER. And then it just rings and rings and rings and rings and rings. And I'm like, okay, nobody's answering. So I'm like, whatever, I guess I'm gonna have to do this. So I pull into the ER and I see that there's a man helping another gentleman get into the car with a wheelchair. And I'm like, oh, sir, sir, like, hey, can you wait? Like, can you help me? Like, I'm gonna park. Like, there's like parking pretty close, like to the entrance, but far enough where it was like I didn't know if I was gonna make it. And the guy just looks at me and he was like, I'm not allowed to leave right here. He goes, if you could make it to me, then I could bring you inside. And I'm like, you're standing right in front of the door. So if I can make it to you, then I could make it inside. Anyways, I park the truck. He sees me get out and he sees like I'm crying and dying in tears. And he got a little bit closer, but not like close enough to get me. It was like super rude. whatever. So I limp my butt over there and I get into the wheelchair. He wheels me like the 3 inches into into like, you know, the entrance and whatnot. They bring me in. The doctors and everybody was like awesome. They did x-rays. They couldn't find anything that was broken. So they sent me to like go see another doctor. I had to make an appointment. And I had asked the nurse, I was like, well, would you mind please bringing me to my truck? Because now they gave me crutches that do fit. And I have the pair of crutches that don't fit. And I'm like, I've got 4 crutches and like this brace like on my foot, which I'll show you in a second. And I'm like, and I need somebody to help me get to the car. Like when I got here, nobody would help me get in. And they were like, oh no, I can't believe that. So they were super sweet. The lady like almost put the wheelchair in my truck. Like that's how close to my truck she got me. So it was like super fabulous. Like they were sweet when I was leaving. So whatever. I ended up leaving and they had me in this like this cast thing. Well, this was over my leg and like all up my leg. And then they put this cast thing on and then they wrapped it a whole bunch with whatever that tape stuff is called. And like this is like hard bottom, but he was like, you're not supposed to put your foot down on this. So mind you, I hurt my foot Friday night. This is Saturday morning. I think by the time I got out of the hospital, it was like 9 and I got there at like 6. So I'm out of the hospital. He gives me this. He calls in some pain meds, which I didn't even drop off because I was like, dude, I just want to go home. Like they gave me a shot in my butt, which helped the pain. So I was like, I just want to go home and relax. Like, you know, ugh, this is too much. And we were supposed to go to Splashdown, which is like this big water park on Saturday. And now we've had these plans for like 2 weeks to go to this park. And I'm like, what do I do? Because the doctor was like, do not take this off. He was like, and do not get it wet. Like when you take a shower, you have to put a bag over it. And so I'm like thinking, I'm like, you know, I'm not dying. And this is like a big day. Like my nephew and my son like have been waiting for this day. Like I cannot be like this. Like this is horrible. Like I can't believe I did this last night. Like I can't even live with what I did. So I'm like, I don't know if I can limp around the park either with crutches. So I'm like, you know what? We're doing this. So I called and I asked the lady, I was like, listen, I was like, I have a cast. Doctor did not say this was okay. But I was like, I have a cast. And the doctor said it's fine that I go on the rides, just as long as I cover it so it doesn't get wet. I was like, is it okay that I still go on the rides? And she was like, as long as you're okay, like that's totally fine. Like we just want to make sure you're okay. And I'm like, great, thank you. And I hang up and I'm like, dude, I'm not okay. I'm so not okay. But I'm going to Splashdown. Like I am not, no, I'm going. So we're driving, you know, it's a few hours to get there, whatever. And I'm thinking, I'm like, what can I do to be able to go into this park? Like I cannot be crutching around. Like it's the crutches were like hurting and I was like, I can't do this. Like so I'm thinking, brainstorming. And so I'm like, stop at the next CVS. So we stop at the next CVS and I actually returned it because I ended up not using it. We stopped at the next CVS and I had bought like this weird like hard brace and it like goes down like under the foot like this, but then it had like a piece that went over like this. And I actually hurt the top of my foot. It wasn't my ankle. So, and I tried putting it on and I was like, oh no, like that's even more painful than like not having on anything at all. So I take this all off. I take all the gauze and everything off. And I bought one of those sport ankle slips that you put on your foot, you know, for like if you had an injury, just to kind of hold everything together. So I get this thing over my swollen foot. It was so painful to get this thing on. So I get that on and then I like wrap the gauze, not the gauze, what is it? It's not gauze. I forget what it's called. That brown stuff, I'll remember it, which I had taken off of this. And I wrapped that all up around my foot. So my foot is like compacted with like all this cushion. And then I put on my water shoe over top of it and I'm like slowly kind of pushing it on the floor of like inside of the vehicle, just trying to see like can I stand on this foot. And with all the cushion that I put on, I was able to go to Splashdown and limp. I was limping and I had help of like holding people to help me keep going and I looked like a complete fool, but I made it through the entire day of Splashdown. And I also was able to go on rides. It was painful. Like the day after, I was bedbound. Like there was no moving for me. Like I probably hurt myself a little bit more, but I did it and I was proud of it. So anywho, I go and I see the doctor that was recommended. And I ended up putting this back on the way the doctor did it at the hospital because he was like, "You do not take this off until you go see the orthopedic surgeon." And I'm like, "Yes, sir, I promise." And he was like, "And you don't go to Splashdown." And I was like, "I promise." So, anyways, I put this back on and I wrap it all up like it's supposed to. I go see the doctor. He does another x-ray. He goes, "We can't see that there's anything broken." He said, "So we're going to order an MRI," because he was nervous about having a ligament or something torn. He goes, "In the meantime, here's this boot." So he gives me this moon boot. Okay. Oh, oh no, that's just a sock. So he gives me this moon boot, and it's like the first day that I wore it, it was, oh, it was so painful. Um, and I had to use one crutch, but now I use it and I'm fine. I have to use it actually. I have to use it for 3 more weeks. And when I take it off, I put like ace bandage. That's what I was looking for. I put the ace bandage. Sorry, my foot is like filthy. I put the ace bandage on like when I'm just hanging out like on the bed and stuff, just to keep it so that the swelling doesn't get too crazy. But I went and I saw him yesterday, and turns out like the entire, so if this was like your foot and this is your big toe and this is your pinky. So my pinky doesn't move, and I'll show you this in a second. Um, but these two toes and this toe all the way down is shattered. So he goes, I'm like, "Wait, what?" So he shows me my pointer toe, and he goes, "You see how that bone is like all gray all the way through?" And I was like, "Yes." And he goes, "And you see how the one over here and the two over here, it kind of looks like spider webs?" I was like, "Yes." He was like, "That's because it's all broken." And I'm like, "You're kidding me. Like I broke a bunch of these little tiny bones in my foot, and I just like manned up and went to Splashdown with a bunch of broken bones in my, I mean, I paid for it. It hurt. Don't get me wrong. It still hurts. Um, but I did all that and I'm like, "Are you serious?" Like I can't even. So he was like, "Because I can't put my foot like flat, like there has to be cushion. Like I can't like put on a regular shoe. It hurts. And I cannot wear sandals. Oh no." Which sucks because it's like summer and my toes and like I want to show my pretty nail polish and I can't. But so I got to wear this thing for another 3 weeks, and then I go back for another x-ray because he wants to see if I had any tendon issues or whatnot. So I'm going to show you real quick. If you look at this, look, see how they all bend? They bend. All right, look at this one. Hold on. Look at my pinky toe. It doesn't move. It's broken. So this is what I'm dealing with right now. So I'm just living with the ace bandage and taking it super easy. He's not even like clearing me to go to work or anything. Like it's that bad. He was like, "To be honest with you, I'd prefer if you stayed off your feet." He was like, "But if you have to," he was like, "I could give you maybe like 3 hour leeway for work." And I'm like, 3 hours? Like I don't know any job that's gonna let me just work for 3 hours. But he did give me that much, but he wants me to wear the boot, which I mean I have to because I tried. Like I tried other things. I was like, "Oh, it's probably not even that bad. It's probably just like some really bad bruising." And then I find out like the whole top of my foot is shattered. Um, so that's what happened. I slid into first base. I made it. Um, but I broke my foot pretty much in the process. So we'll see how it goes. If you have any recommendations on how to like maybe do exercises, I've been looking up online to see about exercises just to try to help the healing and stuff and make sure that the blood and everything keeps flowing. Or, if you've ever experienced anything like this, please leave a message or comment or whatever below. But yeah, this is just an update of what's going on with my foot. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and of course, I love your comments. So please leave a comment and I will respond. All right. Mwah! Thanks.